So, Lone Rider here, and I was reading a pretty hilarious article in the Star Ledger, a major New Jersey newspaper. I don't think it was intended to be hilarious, but it really was. I mean, it was almost unintended comedy. They were talking about concerns that people from New Jersey were getting illegal guns in Pennsylvania. Well, turns out all that happened was that in New Jersey, they passed a law that said that certain gun parts, such as so-called ghost guns or unfinished receivers, weren't legal in New Jersey. So people who, you know, last week it was legal, this week it's not, what are you going to do? All of a sudden you're a criminal. And they made it seem like there was this huge smuggling problem with, oh my God, people are illegal guns, right? And I'm sitting here reading this article and I'm saying to myself, what they're describing is essentially what happens to any normal, otherwise law-abiding person when all of a sudden the government arbitrarily bans their stuff, right? They're not a criminal in the sense of a person who, is in a gang or is involved in illicit enterprise or goes around robbing people or selling drugs or, hurting people or shooting them or whatever. They're just a regular person. But all of a sudden the government decided that, their stuff is forbidden now. So they've been moved from the category of citizen into the category of criminal without warning, right? And if you outlaw enough normal everyday stuff, like people buying an unfinished receiver and finishing it themselves, the whole thing behind the so-called ghost gun idea. And by the way, most people don't want to buy these because they're criminals and felons who want to get a gun illicitly. I think for a lot of people, it's, they're hobbyists. They, just like, I built a custom road bike frame. If you're into guns as much as I'm into bikes, presumably you'd want to customize your own gun, right? Or maybe just save some money by doing it, or whatever. But there's a whole bunch of reasons anybody would want to do that sort of thing that have nothing to do with trying to skirt the law, right? Or trying to get a gun that's, secret or unregistered or untraceable or whatever. But the government, when it looks at people, it always tends to look at the worst possible scenario, right? It doesn't look at what's most likely. It never seems to have heard that expression, when you hear hoof prints, think horses, not zebras. Instead, they're, oh my God, zebras! Yeah, it's horses, dude. You're looking at the most unlikely and worst case scenario every time. Why? Well, it could be they just have a gosh darn dim view of human nature. It could be they really desire to criminalize normal everyday activity. I honestly don't know. But what I do know is that if you criminalize enough normal everyday activity, you shouldn't be surprised to wake up one day and then find out that you're surrounded by a bunch of otherwise normal people who you've defined as criminals, right? And presto, you now have a crime problem. But it doesn't necessarily mean that those people are hurting anybody.